Hi everyone, my name is Darkis Madrid. I am currently a nurse educator at a healthcare facility. Before being a healthcare educator, I was the charge nurse at the same unit that I work in now. As a charge nurse, I do deal with patient issues, patient complaints, staffing issues, staffing complaints, um, and just scheduling. Before that, I was the charge nurse at an open heart unit, and prior to that, I was the assistant manager at a event decoration um, company, and that has been my leadership or management experience this far. And then here's my partner, Jen Contreras. She'll tell you about
Hi,
her.
thank you. Thank you, Darkis. So I am right now a career service consultant at Career Source Central Florida. I've been there for almost 5 years. Um, Prior to that, I did have a little bit of management experience as an assistant manager at Panda Express. I did learn a lot there, a lot of real world experience, but I didn't have any formal training or anything prior to that. So I feel like I still have quite a bit to learn. So when we I wanted to talk about our PowerPoint that we did. So when I did this PowerPoint, I learned so much through the interview, the textbook, the videos that we watched, my internet research. But I would say like the biggest takeaway that really connected me to my actual experience is that when you have a team, it's like a mixed bag. Like you never know who you're going to have on your team. You never know what generation or their personality style or their communication style. So you have to be prepared and ready to meet everyone where they are and really get to know your team so that everyone can work together and it can be cohesive. But I mean, at the end of the day, everyone really just wants to be seen and understood. And when you're the manager, it's your responsibility to, see everybody and understand them. Um, so how did you feel like you did on your project? Like, did you learn a lot from it when you did your PowerPoint?
Yes, for sure, definitely. I learned a lot. One of the things that I learned the most about was when we had to research about women who are in other countries and how they're not what's supported as much in leadership. I chose Japan, and Japan is known to be like a very forward country, and but when it comes down to women in leadership, it's a very I'm gonna say behind always. There's not a lot of women in leadership there. The other part of the project that I really enjoyed was my interview with my manager. I had known her for 40 years, but we had more of a transactional relationship. This is what you need. This is what I need. Let's get it done, and we'll do it. And there was never an issue. But we never actually sat down to talk and get to know each other. So when I had to interview her and I asked her the questions, it was great to know about her leadership style and her challenges that she's facing as a manager and her goals in life and professional life and um, all the questions that we asked for the interview. So that to me was kind of like an eye opening. Like, hey, I really need to make an effort to get to know the people that I work with. I don't like to spend work time socializing, but in this case, I'm gonna call it like networking. Like, it's important to get to know your team, like you said.
Mhm.
Um, so those are some of the things that I learned in the project. The other thing that I learned throughout the semester is when we talked about the conflict situations, and I told you about my situation and how I would have dealt with it as a servant leader, and then you said, "Well, this is how I would have done it as a coaching leadership style," and I said, I think when we first talked, I was like a little bit like I don't know, but then when I thought about it, I was like, oh no, she's right. This is another way of doing it, and it may have been even more effective than the way I handle it. Um, yeah. So, what are your thoughts on the program?
Um, so I learned so much, but I agree with you what you were saying about our conversation that we had, like how we would handle that situation. So speaking to you with your servant leadership and my coaching, I feel like we're different, but we still have similarities, and it kind of opened my eyes that you can be one certain type of leader, but you can still borrow tactics from other leadership styles. And that really opened my eyes. When we did the project and I interviewed my friend from Panda Express, who was also an assistant manager like I was, she was also a servant leader, and she reminds me so much of you. Like the way that she handles her team is a lot like how you are with people that you work with. But as for this program, I never really knew about leadership styles, much less what mine was or how leaders are actually how they can really make or break their team. You know, like you have to really know yourself before you can know them and you can be a great leader. But I did learn also in this program, I learned about some of my weaknesses when it comes to leadership. But the good thing is I was given the tools and information on how I can pursue, additional knowledge so that I can address those weaknesses. So my weaknesses, which I've kind of always known, but I didn't realize how they really affect me as a leader, is I avoid conflict. And as a leader, you're going to have to deal with conflict. Like, there's no way around it. And delegating. So I always say yes. So it can cause burnout. But I have been given the tools throughout this course to address those and become a better leader. Did you learn anything about yourself that you think you want to address in order to improve how you are as a leader?
Yeah, so when I came into the program, I was already in management, so I was looking for ways to improve because I already knew that dealing with conflict was also an issue for me. And then when I joined the program, I realized I thought I was a good communicator, but I realized I still had to work on communication. I'm the kind of person like if you're talking and you say something and it sparks an idea, I'm like, I will interrupt you and say what I need to say. And then I learned, no, you have to listen, let the other person finish, and then give your input. Um, so yeah, I'm still working on difficult conversations. I did take a class called Difficult Conversations, and when we had the presentation with that chat lady, I also did a couple of sessions with her, and she gave me some good feedback. It's work in progress. I think the more difficult conversations you have, then the better you get at it. It doesn't get better overnight. It gets better with practice.
Mhm.
Um, Also, I wasn't aware of my strengths. So when I joined the program and I started learning about leadership skills and leadership personalities and attributes, I realized that I was already doing some of the stuff. And I thought I was just doing things that were common sense. And it was reassuring to know that it was like leadership skills that I had in me that I didn't know were leadership skills. So I am grateful for the program. I've learned a lot. I think that organizational behavioral class was like the class that really changed me the most because I'm a procrastinator. So for sure that class was great. Um, but yeah, I'm thankful and happy we're graduating soon.
Yeah, I agree. I'm excited to graduate. It's been really nice working with you and Dr. G. I've had Dr. G for I don't know, like 5 classes probably, and I've learned new things every time. And I'm so I feel like I've gained so much knowledge just in this program and especially these last 2 classes. But I agree with you about the organizational behavior class. Um, but it's been great.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your time and thank you
Thank
for
you.
being a good partner.
Of course, thank you.